The bald, bar-coded one is back. The man of hits, it's Hitman.
This is an origin story for Agent 47 where you'll follow him through his recruitment into the agency. To start things off, he has to prove himself over 2 tutorial missions which recreate hits carried out by another one of the agency's agents.
This is your objective as well.
These first tutorial missions are quite short, but once you pass those tests, you're given your first real mission, a fashion show in Paris.
Ah, Paris, yes, this is Hitman at its best. It's a huge event, brimming with people and so many opportunities to assassinate in devious ways.
It's incredible, isn't it? This is such a big map full of characters. And there's so much attention to detail in every inch of it. And there's all these conversations that take place which can actually point you towards possible assassinations.
I know I look fine, but he's like a Greek god or something.
And you can even have conversations with NPCs, which helps set things up.
Yeah, and some of these conversations are part of a new mechanic called opportunities. These give you a breadcrumb trail of objectives to help you carry out one of the more specific assassinations available.
Well done, 47. Victor Novikov is next.
And I loved these because in most Hitman games, I'll generally get the job done, but I'll often miss some of the more elaborate hits that they've put in.
Yeah, it's definitely clearer and more obvious, but also a bit too easy. It basically allows you to build a list of possible ways to complete the level, and then you just pick one and go. But if you're a Hitman purist and want to figure out everything for yourself, you can turn those off. Another thing I thought that made it a bit easy was now how there are big white dots above particular guards who will find your disguise suspicious.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, how does Agent 47 know that those particular staff are gonna get sus when others don't?
Yeah, exactly. But still, I grew to appreciate this over time because it does make things clearer and lets you focus on taking out your hit successfully. What impressed me most about this game though, Hex, was the animations and AI routines of the characters as they played out around the map. Everything is already in motion. You really do feel like you've busted in on this huge, busy event already happening. Hex, I found this Paris map just so interesting. There's just so much going on, and it really made me feel like this is the Hitman that we have been waiting for.
It's pretty spectacular, and there are so many little stories hidden in the map just waiting to be uncovered.
What's this one for?
Yeah, that's a fireworks remote. Wouldn't touch it if I were you.
Once you're done with that mission, which depending on your approach won't take much more than half an hour, then you're done. That's kind of it. So all up, this took me about an hour to get through.
It's very much dependent on how you play this kind of game though. For me, it was about 3 hours because I just loved exploring that Paris map and walking the catwalk. And every time I got busted, I want to restart too. I want that pure, clean run. So yes, it is short, and that's because this Hitman is episodic. They plan on releasing new cities and missions as the year goes on. It's a bit strange to me, Hex, a AAA game like this suddenly being episodic?
Yeah, I don't really understand it. I mean, it makes sense for games that are more narrative driven, obviously the Telltale games. There's a big chance that people will play that first episode and then just forget about it and not buy the rest.
Yeah, it does feel like they've just kind of lopped off the first mission, and when it ended, I didn't feel satisfied, really. I'm like, okay, I just want more, which is great, but there's not really enough story in this to really feel like I'm gonna remember it when the next episode comes out.
Yeah, I mean, the cynic in me says that maybe it's a money thing, because I know that the way they've priced it is that it's more expensive if you buy all the episodes individually than if you buy it all at once. And then maybe there's another package, I think, if you buy the first episode and then buy all the rest at once. So there's ways for them to kind of capitalize on it, I suppose, you know, if it pans out for them, but I don't know, it could just completely blow up in their faces as well.
Yeah, it's a strange one. And this is the sort of game that I don't want to play just one mission of, you know? I want to sit down in a weekend and smash this out and be truly absorbed by it.
Well, I mean, I believe that once they've released all the episodes, they are going to release the full game just on disc, you know, traditionally.
Yeah, in like a year.
If you want to wait a year.
There is some replay value though. You're encouraged to try every possible way to tackle each mission. Plus there are extra modes like escalation, contracts, and the new elusive targets. So they're certainly trying to squeeze out a lot out of each location. We should wrap this up though. Final thoughts?
Well, for me, there wasn't really enough story or content to get me invested. And what was there was a little bit too elusive to hook me into episode 2. So what I'm saying is I'm curious, but I'm not totally on board yet. 3 stars.
Well, the last game, Hitman Absolution, is actually my favorite stealth game of all time. And they've taken a lot of ideas and humor of that game, and I can see those glimmers in this one. So I'm very excited. I want more. I wasn't really satisfied by this, but it still kind of feels like a 4 out of 5 for me.